Let's get into it. What a week. In a new Politico interview Monday, RFK Jr. celebrated Martin Luther King Day by defending the FBI's surveillance of the civil rights leader during the Kennedy administration. Say what you will about RFK Jr., but he's consistent. Last year, he marked Easter by saying the Romans did what they had to do. Kentucky Republican Nick Wilson, until now best known for winning Survivor Season 37, has introduced a bill that would no longer classify sex with your first cousin as incest. Now it all makes sense. He acted a little too excited for the family visit during his season. That was the season that basically was Mike White of White Lotus versus this guy, this freak. And it's interesting to think about that if like Mike had really gone for the jugular in that final tribal council, you wouldn't be able to fuck your cousin in Kentucky. You know, butterfly flaps its wings. Just another sign that lawmakers don't care about. This is the other half of that joke. Anyway, this cousin bill, just another sign that lawmakers don't care about ordinary Americans and are instead in the pocket of the Habsburgs. Because of all the incest. It's how they got their fucked up jaw. Like in the Goya paintings. Anyway, if you saw his cousin, you'd understand where he was coming from. Awooga. Senator Chuck Grassley, age 90, was admitted to the hospital for unspecified infection this week. I shouldn't be laughing. It's not going to be... I'm laughing from a previous thing. I don't have a... Anyway, Grassley's office said in a statement, he's in good spirits and will return to work as soon as possible, with beautiful new lips. In the aftermath of the Iowa caucus, juggernauts Vivek Ramaswamy and Asa Hutchinson dropped out. Come on in, boys, the water's fine, said a depressed Chris Christie, now in his second week in the Manchester Hilton hot tub, more prune than a man. Having come in third in Iowa, Nikki Haley took a victory lap, and she hit the press circuit.
Are you a racist party? Are you involved in a racist party?
No. We're not a racist country, Brian.
Just to note, this interview with Nikki Haley aired the day after MLK Day, on which King famously died of natural causes. Haley also said this when asked how she felt about Trump being found liable in his defamation case.
First of all, I haven't paid attention to his cases, and I'm not a lawyer. All I know is that he's innocent until proven guilty, and when he's proven guilty and he's sitting in a courtroom, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You've got investigations on Trump and Biden.
First of all, I'm not a lawyer you're supposed to say I'm not a scientist about climate change because saying you're against climate change is good for you because you're disgusting. But if you're running against someone and they say, what do you think about this person's crimes? The fact that you're trying to defeat them while saying I'm not paying attention to his biggest liability as a candidate, stupid. Also, on the question of liability, he's already been found liable. He's already in the damages phase. The guilt phase is over. It's like saying Chernobyl is safe until proven exploded. We're past that, babe. There's an HBO miniseries. Meanwhile, Donald Trump attacked Haley on Truth Social, creating a racist portmanteau, combining the word Nimrod with her full name, Nimarada, to create Nimrata. The guy still fucking got it. Just firing on all fucking cylinders. You would too if you were afraid of going to prison. Trump also posted this photo, which is a photoshopped image of Nikki Haley as Hilary Clinton. It's deeply unsettling. It's a deeply, deeply unsettling image. This is saying, hey, you know who else was a woman? That woman you hate. Trump 24, these fucking bitches. With the New Hampshire primary days away, new polling showed Trump with a 16-point lead and 50% support. I like when my elections challenge my preconceived notions. I always think of New Hampshire as a serious, no-nonsense state. But no, these people love nonsense. And Trump is definitely setting himself up for a win with gems like this.
We have more liquid gold and wealth under our feet than any other nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas, more liquid gold. Well, I just met non-liquid gold. You know where it was? Iowa. It's called corn. It's non-liquid.
I know what you're thinking. Best he's ever sounded. Corn is non-liquid gold. Also non-liquid, famously, gold. He's beating Biden by 12 points in Georgia. Meanwhile, Nikki Haley came in at 34% in the latest polling, leading among independents and moderates. As a result, during his rally Tuesday, Trump accused Haley of artificially boosting her numbers by appealing to Democrats and liberals to infiltrate the Republican Party. Oh no, he's on to us. How did he figure it out? When I voted in the Iowa caucus, I wore my best Nancy Reagan skirt. Coincidentally, I was the throat goat in that Iowa City gymnasium. Thank you. One of Nikki Haley's billionaire donors told reporters that his continued support would depend on how she does Tuesday. Said Ken Langone, a co-founder of Home Depot, if she doesn't get traction in New Hampshire, you don't throw money down a rat hole, continued Langone, unless the rat is polling well and promises a tax cut. Then it's rat 2024, baby. And then there was, Also, you should never throw money down a rat hole. And then there was Ron DeSantis, you remember him. The Florida governor's super PAC never backed down, laid off staff this week after coming in a distant second in the Iowa caucus. Said a super PAC spokesperson, to be clear, we are not backing down. If anything, we're backing up. Wait, that's nothing. Fuck, okay, we laid off the guy who was good at words. The DeSantis campaign is turning to South Carolina, given his dismal polling in the Granite State. Explained DeSantis, I've been advised that the sooner New Hampshire forgets what my voice sounds like, the stronger my chances. DeSantis also admitted Thursday on Hugh Hewitt's radio show that he fucked up his media strategy, saying this.
Presidential campaigns are a lot about media. Like, I spent a lot of time on the ground in Iowa, and it's good. And when you meet people, you convert them. But there's just so many voters out there that you got to do. And I came in not really doing as much media. I should have just been blanketing. I should have gone on all the corporate shows. I should have gone on everything.
Counterpoint. He should have gone on nothing. He should have worn a Phantom of the Opera mask and used voice disguise technology whenever he appeared in public. He should have been like a Yeti, a blurry blotch on a cryptozoology subreddit, an enticing mystery that disappoints when exposed in full, like the ending of Lost or Most Sex. Though DeSantis did offer this medical hot take at a town hall on Wednesday.
Every booster you take, you're more likely to get COVID as a result of it.
This guy's trying to play the hits, but he has no hits. It's like going to see your brother-in-law's band and him say, you'll all remember this one until your dad pulls the fire alarm. And in case you needed a devastating blow-by-blow of why Ron DeSantis is polling at 5% in New Hampshire, The Messenger published a doozy breaking down all the ways in which DeSantis' campaign has been a flop. When warned that relatable on-the-ground campaign moments were crucial to endearing himself to voters, DeSantis scoffed, people don't care about that stuff. And I know people, continued Ron as he ate a fish like a cartoon cat, pulling a complete skeleton out of his mouth. Meanwhile, during the August 24th Republican debate, DeSantis raised his hand alongside Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy when asked if he would vote for Trump if he were convicted. You got to give Ron credit. He had to look at everybody else first to see if he wanted to raise his hand, joked Chris Christie. But then he raised his hand, kind of like cheating off somebody's paper in high school. Anyway, you want to get some food after this? Said a sad Chris Christie to the journalist crouching next to the Manchester Hilton hot tub. He's still in the hot tub. It's a little story of the day. As he looks past New Hampshire to South Carolina, DeSantis' polling isn't much better, where he's currently a distant third. A distant third sounds kind of sexy, said Kentucky Republican Nick Wilson. There you go. On Wednesday, Donald Trump was back in court. The judge in E. Jean Carroll's defamation trial warned the former president to pipe down after he was heard grumbling loudly to his lawyers during Carroll's testimony. I wonder if he needed to be let outside. That's usually what it means when my dog does that. When Trump continued to grouse audibly, Judge Lewis Kaplan threatened to kick him out of the courtroom. Mr. Trump, the judge said, I hope I don't have to consider excluding you from the trial. I understand you were very eager for me to do that. Trump replied, I would love it. I would love it. Look, I'm sorry if I'm misreading this transcript, but are these two people about to fuck? Said the judge, I know you would, because you just can't control yourself in this circumstance. You just can't. Trump reportedly then threw his hands in the air in exasperation. Yeah, I think they want to fuck. During an appearance on The View Wednesday, Vice President Kamala Harris criticized Republican attacks on Biden's age, saying this.
So why are they doing it, Joy?
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to run on.
Thank you.
They have nothing to run on.
Said President Biden, that's damn straight. You tell him, Carla, and I'll take another stack of pancakes when you get a minute, sweetheart. As bipartisan negotiations over a border plan and Ukraine funding continued, Senate Republicans urged their deranged House counterparts to be reasonable for once, with Lindsey Graham telling reporters, "To those who think that if President Trump wins, which I hope he does, that we can get a better deal, you won't. You've got to get 60 votes in the United States Senate." Only problem is this is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Chip Roy you're talking to. It's like trying to persuade the rats gnawing on your wiring that wires aren't actually that delicious. When questioned during a press conference about whether President Biden's election was God's will, Speaker Mike Johnson said this.
I quoted the Declaration of Independence. They acknowledge that our rights don't come from government, they come from God, and we're made in his image. Everybody's made the same. We all are given equal rights and value, and that's something that we defend. So if you believe all those things, then you believe that God is the one that allows people to be raised in authority. It must have been God's will then.
Do you ever see the movie Fat Man and Little Boy with John Cusack? And shut up, Malcolm. I'll make sense in a second. And he accidentally taps a bit of uranium and he accidentally achieves critical mass and zaps himself pretty hard. Anybody know what I'm talking about? This movie is terrible and nobody saw it. The point is, he's starting to be affected by radiation poisoning, but he goes to a blackboard, he does a bunch of calculations, and at the end of it, he goes, ipso facto, I'm dead. And anyway, Mike Johnson feels like Mike Johnson was at a blackboard doing logic, and at the end of it, he realized that Joe Biden is God's instrument. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Was it too far to go to get there? Maybe, but who cares? This is a podcast. It's fucking free. Marjorie Taylor Greene, not for you. Not for you, but you're having a great time. Marjorie Taylor Greene wistfully looked back at Trump's legacy this week.
Under President Trump, there were only two genders. Remember that? Male and female.
And also remember, under President Trump, I had one husband and now no husbands. What happened? What happened to this country? A Republican lawmaker in Oklahoma has introduced legislation in the state that aims to ban furries from participating in school activities. The bill would reintroduce separate but equal facilities for furry students, originally upheld in Plushie v. Ferguson. That's the best thing you'll hear this week. You celebrate what just happened. I didn't write that. That's very good. I'm going to praise that. That's very good. Who wrote that? Did Alan write that? Alan wrote that. Yeah, that's right. The Pentagon will install rooftop solar panels as part of the Biden administration's push to promote clean energy. Said Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, "What's great about these solar panels is that it's something we can all talk about instead of somebody's prostate and pee hole." Starting in 2026, the Federal Highway Administration will ban overhead electronic signs that reference pop culture or try to be funny, saying that drivers can misunderstand them or be distracted. Examples of doomed signs include "Use Ya Blinka" in Massachusetts, "Don't Drive Star-Spangled Hammered" in Pennsylvania, and "Hocus Pocus Drive with Focus" in New Jersey. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at, said overhead electronic sign writer Joe Coy. Man, it's too late for that joke. But he deserves peace at this point. Madison Marsh of Colorado was crowned Miss America this week, making her the first active duty service member to earn the title, though she raised some eyebrows during the talent portion, which resulted in multiple civilian casualties in Yemen. The lineup for 2024's Coachella has been announced, with headliners Lana Del Rey, Doja Cat, and Tyler, the Creator, as well as the reunion of No Doubt. When reached for comment, an excited No Doubt fan desperately tried to pause the TV. I want you to know there was a literal meeting today where I had to do this. Bong. No, not that one. It has to be bong. Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles would undergo a corrective procedure next week for an enlarged prostate. The procedure will bring the prostate back to its original size, which is even larger. A federal judge on Tuesday blocked JetBlue's plan to buy Spirit Airlines for $3.8 billion, said the judge in his ruling, Spirit is a small airline, but there are those who love it. To those dedicated customers of Spirit, this one's for you. That's real. Thank you, sir, said a man with a tattoo on his face trying to wrestle a baby into the overhead compartment. No one is a dedicated customer of Spirit Airline, any more than you can be a dedicated customer for a defibrillator. You're not a fan. You don't like the experience. It's there for emergencies, and the main goal is just to be alive after using the product. The judge, a Reagan appointee named William Young, went off. The airline industry, he said, is an oligopoly that has become more concentrated due to a series of mergers in the first decades of the 21st century, with a small group of firms in control of the vast majority of the market, continued Young. And that's why I only fly on private jets provided by generous conservative billionaires in protest. There used to be real competition in the airline industry, the judge went on to say. The stewardesses were so friggin' hot. You'd get on one plane, smoke shows. You get on another plane, awooga. I don't know if the awoogas take it as like a returning bit. Let's put the awooga in the maybe pile. The Guinness Book of World Records has opened an investigation into the world's oldest dog, Bobby, who was reportedly 31 years old when he died in October. Investigators became suspicious when someone claimed the dog was 31 years old. I have to say, I don't know, when I was a kid, the Guinness Book of World Records was like the Bible. It was the word handed down, longest fingernails, tallest woman. The fact that they just signed off on this 31-year-old fucking dog is giving me pause. So now that there's a fucking asterisk next to Bobby's name, the oldest dog is Bluey, which was supposedly 29 years old, born in 1910, and died in 1939. And again, I call fucking bullshit. How do you verify the age of a dog in 1939? Europe is in fucking free fall. Give me a break. No way. How do you know that? Oh, here's a picture of the dog when it was small. Yep, must be the same dog. These are two fucking fucked up black and white 1910 photographs. 29-year-old dogs. What are we doing here? They're not cats. And I'm glad someone finally said it. And finally, a Texas county is attempting to block the building of a new biomedical facility designed to contain 43,000 research monkeys. How much racket do 43,000 monkeys make? A local shrimper complained to the Wall Street Journal about the plan. I'm sure they're not quiet. I could not get through it. All right. Yes, the racket. The racket is the main thing, said a monkey researcher, nervously waiting for somebody to wonder what I can't do. Nervously waiting for someone to wonder what 43,000 monkeys smell like. Yeah, it's the racket. I knew I was going to fuck it up. I don't know what that is. That one is so funny to me. With thousands of excrement-hurling primates confined to such a small area, residents are concerned that their county will look like friggin' Congress. When we come back, that's right, it's Rob Reiner.